morning.
This is Congo Square. This is where all the music started.
All
All the
right.
culture. Where y'all people visiting from, Big Fella? Where y'all coming in town from? Tennessee? But I tell everybody, go start the tour at Congo Square over there. That's the place the Negroes, around the King Louis XIV, Africans were allowed to congregate there under France.
Is it okay if I
While
film
it
you?
was there, yeah.
Okay.
While it was there, the bambula, the kalinga, the Congo, West African blues music, that little sculpture there is giving you a depiction of the Africans singing and dancing. You know? Come on, y'all, walk. Ain't that right there? Tell y'all in that place. I'm gonna work my energy drink off on y'all. Yeah, but this is small, man. This is all the culture. 1719, two Frenchmen come down from the Mississippi River to Canada. They established the middle of America now in King Louis XIV. The French are very unique people. They have what's called Code Nord. They got this little black book. Yeah, this is the bamboo. The kalinga, the Congo, and blues. This is what blues is. This is our ancestors in Congo. You notice the Native American here. And then you're looking at the 8-person that's showing you when they came here. They came in here by tribes. We brought the Congo drums, the banjos. There was a bambula. Bambula is 8 feet tall. But these are our Africans. She's doing what's called the bambula. It's a dance of defiance and resistance. Even though I'm in slavery, I'm still going to resist and defy you with everything that I got. This is where I want to bring y'all right here. What's up, young man? How you doing there? No, I ain't seen that. You supposed to be coming over today?
Who actually is a real authentic religion?
Got it.
All right. Whole Christianity. That's how old we are. We come from the Congo language, we're talking Bahini. But especially
right here, this is Congo Square. This is a green space. And this was the only place in America, or the only place that African slaves were allowed to congregate here by themselves. Every Sunday they would come here. You notice that all of the circles have gone into a big circle. You see all the front of the circle. When the tribes came in here, they came in here by tribes. We would get the circle. And the middle of the spot is where you so-called, the people who did the call and response. Let's say that's the DJ in the middle. And they would call out to the rest of the tribes who would respond. But this is why I want to bring you right here. Here's 1740, a gentleman came here and he painted a picture of what he saw of our African ancestors. It's on the picture. And you're going to see a lot of the old landmarks, that pink building, that big old tree there, and down the street. Literally, this is where all the blues originated. Right here, whenever you blues music, jazz music, this is the spot. Right here, playing the street. That pink building, the steeple down the street, and this tree. 1740, the gentleman came here and painted a picture. Here's the pink building. This is the steeple of St. Louis Cathedral. This little tree right here, 250 years later, that's the tree right there. This is the same tree. 250 years later, when a guy came here, 1740, 250 years later, that's the tree when it got big. Now, what you don't see is the wall of the city of New Orleans, where that wrought iron fence is. That is the brick wall of the city of New Orleans. Under the French, Africans were allowed on Sunday to leave out of the city, come from out the wall, right here. Right here in Congo Square, you was allowed to congregate here, unsupervised, unheard of. Congo Square is a vicinity spot used by the homeless Indians, used before the arrival of the French celebrating their annual corn harvest. This considered sacred ground. Before the French and the Spanish arrived, you have the homeless Indians, the Attacapur Indians, the Natchez, the Seminoles, the Cherokees. All this is Indian land. When the French and the Spanish arrived, they displaced the Native Americans. 1719, two Frenchmen come down the Mississippi River. They stopped in Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans. They claim all the way up the middle of America in honor of King Louis XIV, the first one to own Louisiana, 15 states. The 13 colonies are on the East Coast. The middle of America is for France. The West Coast is for Mexico. America got 3 countries inside of one. You got Mexico, France, and the 13 colonies of America. Now, King Louis XIV commissioned 3,000 of our African ancestors who built the city of New Orleans. Now, the first city of New Orleans is wood. By 1806, the whole city burned down. The very first building they built was this St. Louis Cathedral. Now, why the Africans here, the gathered enslaved African vendors in Congo Square originated as early as the late 1740s during the Louisiana French colonial period and continued during the Spanish colonial era as one of the city public markets. Vendors and markets, somebody selling something. By 1803, Congo Square had became famous for gathering enslaved Africans who drummed, danced, and sang and traded on Sunday afternoons. By 1819, these gatherings numbered as many as 500 and 600 people. Among the most famous dances, the bambula, the Congo, Kalinda, and Congo. What they don't say here is West African blues was also introduced here. These African cultural expressions gradually developed to the Mardi Gras Indian tradition. The second line eventually New Orleans jazz, rhythm, and blues. 1719, 2 Frenchmen come here. One of the brothers died. The other brother, Bienville, came here to New Orleans. He get 2,000, 3,000 Africans to build a city. Now, the French are unique people. They're organized. There's a little booklet I got to get called The Black Codes. How do you handle African slaves? Number 1, everybody's converted to Catholicism. You become Catholic. Number 2, you cannot sell my family away from me under the French. Number 3, if you abuse an African slave, they could bring you to court under King Louis XIV of Spain, of France. King Louis XIV allowed Africans on Sunday to come out of the city wall right here, unsupervised, every Sunday, 12 noon to 6 p.m. This is where we came. And this is where they had their parties. So they're here every Sunday enjoying themselves. King Louis XIV died. King Louis XV took his place. Now, you got to remember, the middle of America is for France. King Louis XV owns the middle of America now. But King Carlos of Spain sees the strategic value. If I get the middle of America, if the Mexicans on the West Coast want to come to the East Coast, I got to charge them, man, I'm in the middle. If the Americans want to cross over, I'm taxing y'all, so I'm in the middle. Whoever come, I got the money. King Carlos began to fight with King Louis XV. After 7 years, Spain became the victor of the middle of America. The first thing King Carlos did, now first, we under the French, is pretty good. All right, I'll become Catholic. They can't abuse me, you can't sell my family. That's pretty cool. Uh-oh, we hear that they're about to sell Louisiana, they lost. Uh-oh, King Carlos, what he gonna do? So everybody don't know what King Carlos gonna do. The very first sign was a good sign. The first thing that happened when King Carlos was finna take over, his wife didn't like to see slaves punished in the street. So all of a sudden, they passed a law. You can't whip slaves in the street. Man, that sounds good. I like what King Carlos doing. He stopped that. The next thing King Carlos did was, not only did he allow us to come here and congregate, he started the first Freedom Fest. You could buy your freedom and buy the family freedom. So now we got a vendor's market. Africans come here every Sunday collecting money. It's like $15 to purchase your freedom. There was a lady named Rosina Carr. She was a coffee peddler, African lady. She sold enough coffee in the street where she bought her freedom. Right here under King Carlos, if you were a slave on a plantation, you could leave the plantation and go on another plantation. You're a brick mason, carpenter. You could leave and go somewhere else and rent your trade out and make extra money to buy your freedom. So under King Carlos of Spain, the institution of slavery was very beautiful because I could buy my freedom. So you got 500-600 people every Sunday coming here, getting their money together, having their freedom festival. They dancing and singing and everything. Now, while they were here under King Carlos, purchasing their money, collecting their money, way over in Haiti, which is a French province, San Domingo in Haiti, they had an uprising. Why? Because they didn't respect the slaves. So you had the Haitian Revolution in San Domingo, maybe about 600 miles away. And guess who's coming to dinner? From the back of that fence for 5 blocks. You're literally standing in the oldest Afro-American neighborhood in the United States, period. Here come the free people of color from Haiti. These are dark-skinned people. They mix with African and French. They speak French, dressed to the T, dressed very elegantly. They have servants and everything. They got bank. Free people of color over in San Domingo are rich because they have plantations of sugar cane, got your sugar. They got plantations of tobacco. You want to smoke some cigars or cigarettes? They got plantations of indigo. Indigo is a little plant that everybody dyed everything blue. And also plantations of rum. Y'all won't need some rum, where everything in the Caribbean is rum. So they had these 3 things that made them rich. When they fled, they escaped from the Haitian Revolution. They moved here. These dark-skinned people, blacker than Africans, they moved over into Treme. When they came here, they were instrumental in helping rebuild the city of New Orleans because they had money. Also, here these black people buying up all the property all over the city. And I'm a slave, I'm looking at them. Here come the free people of color over here. They hear the Africans beating the drum. That wall right there became an amplifier. Bambula is a tall drum made out of bamboo. 3 people had to play this thing. If you got 2 bambula drums in front of that wall, the wall is gonna echo music, noise all day. Here come the free people of color. What's going on over there? They see dark-skinned people, when they come here, you look just like me. Guess what they started doing? Bonjour, monsieur. Say bonjour, madame. They started teaching the Africans on their free day off how to speak French. As you got fluent in the language, they would give you their clothing. All around you is walking dark-skinned people speaking French, dressing very elegantly. So as they taught the Africans French, 100 Africans come over here for their day off, like they usually did. They got their French lesson. I slip you some clothing of free people of color. Now you look just like them. You go in the bushes, you come out of the bushes, and I'm gonna escape. I'm walking away saying, bonjour, monsieur, bonjour, madame. It's an escape. 100 Africans escaped, disguised as free people of color. The first 40 people said, man, I ain't doing that, I ain't gonna work. Them people gonna catch y'all. When they seen them escape, they said, well, let me learn some French too. Here you got another Sunday, 40 Africans get their French lessons to get their clothing. They escape slavery, walking away. Bonjour, monsieur, bonjour, madame, as they walk in that little hip walk. See y'all later. Now, what's the problem is, you got 140 people missing. If you're a slave, it's very valuable. That's $70,000 in today's money, $5 a person to return. Where do the Africans go? The Native Americans say, come stay with us. They gave us their Indian suits. Where's the best place to escape? If you walk 30 minutes straight down the east, you're gonna run into 40 miles of swamp. The Indian gave us their Indian suits. Now we're disguised as Indians. We get out of the city to the swamps. When you're in the swamps, I got 40 miles of swamps. All swamps isn't just water. You have elevated land way in the back of the swamp. They didn't tell Africans in the history books, oh, the swamps. Millions of Africans lived in the swamps because it was hard for you to catch them. Plus, the Native Americans intermarried with us. They gave us guns. Hey, hold this. We fought with the Indians. We lived with the Indians. They showed us how to live off the land, how to fish, how to hunt, how to grow food. We became one with the Native Americans. Gave us the Indian suits, we escaped. Now, maroonage is called escape ones in Africa, in Spanish. So now that we escaped with the aid of the Native Americans, we're living in the swamps. Remember, King Carlos allowed you to go to other places. So first I escaped looking like a free people of color. Now I got an Indian suit. Now, because King Carlos allowed you to leave the plantation and go about your business and make other money, guess who's playing like they're slaves? The escaped slaves are going house to house, playing like they're slaves, just going on their extra hustle. So I escaped first as a free people of color, then I'm dressed as an Indian. Now I'm coming back in the city saying, I'm just coming off plantation up the road, you need some help? One thing about the Maroons was this. A lot of the slave owners who didn't have money to buy any other slave, they would get the Maroon. Hey, I got a field of stuff I need harvest in here. Would y'all like to come help me? They would hire the Maroons and pay them a little money for to go and help them with their fields. If you didn't have enough money to buy no more slaves, a lot of people who needed help would use the Maroons. Straight up this street, right on the riverfront, the steamboats had just come into power. So you need wood for the steamboats. Guess who's selling the captains the wood for the steamboats? the escaped slaves. They got their own lumber company. When here Home Depot, it started right here in New Orleans. They're selling wood, they're going all about. Now, whenever you escaped as a Maroon, you didn't just run away. They decided who would leave. Who's the strongest one to leave? Once I escaped the plantation, I still could come see about my people. I could bring them things, I could get information. The information network was the Maroons. Once the Maroons escaped, if somebody was sold, their family was sold down the street, I can go and see about them. Oh, I just saw him the other day. I can send messages. The Maroons was the one that communicated with everybody. They kept everybody all together. Also the Maroons, if you walk through Tremé, there's an overseer's house 2 blocks away is the original building of one of the Tremé overseers. If you were a bad overseer and you did my family something, I'm already on a limb. I got guns. Y'all can't catch me. Guess what? You're going to get a visit. The Maroons would come and give you a visit and take care of business, and they would free their family. They'd kill an overseer, take care of their family. History books got to be rewrote. All that stuff they put in there, it's a lot of it ain't correct information. It's what they did. If you got a gun on me, and I'm under oppression, I can write whatever I want in a book and say, this how I go. Well, that's how I go. You got that gun on me. The gun ain't on me no more. So the history, you're finna hear about new stories from African points of view. Every story you hear, history is from a white man point of view, who is your oppressor. Therefore, today, you critique it and say, nah, I need my other story. You make your own story. Right now, y'all the first generation that critiques your own information. 7 generations away from slavery is 156 years. Y'all the first generation that can say, hey, nah, all that stuff in the books, we don't even want to read them books. We finna write our own books. You know, history is different now. Right here, the Maroons were very instrumental. Whenever the Civil War took place, it was the Maroons say, hey, the Union Army coming up the road. Y'all get ready to escape. Go make it to the line. The Maroons were very instrumental in the information network. They're the ones who gave everybody money. Paying honor to the Native Americans, we started getting these Mardi Gras Indian suits. We take fish scales and we would make these suits. This is a Mardi Gras Indian suit. We started paying honor to the Native Americans who did so much for us. The first thing we did was, like I said, we took the fish scale. This is a Mardi Gras Indian suit that we do today. The first suit is made out of fish scales and chicken feathers. It didn't work, we had to tear the suit off. The second suit, the Buffalo Bill Wild Wild West show started touring America. We saw the turkey feathers that the native Sioux had. The Sioux Indian had turkey feathers. Today, we come up with our own style. We use ostrich feathers. A Mardi Gras Indian suit paying honor back to the Native American takes you 11 months to hand sew. This costs you between $5,000 and $15,000. You're only gonna wear this suit one time. 1 month, but you're gonna wear it 4 times in 1 month. In a Mardi Gras Indian tradition, you got the big chief, you got the wild man, he keep people back. You got the spy boy, he's looking for other Indians, and you have the flag boy. The flag boy is the one who signals once he see other Indians. But that's your Indian tribe. I'm gonna give y'all a 250-year-old Indian song. Your mom and daddy probably know it, didn't heard it before. It started right here in Congo Square. 250 years later, just like that tree, it was in a movie called Rain Man. Also in the 60s, they changed the lyrics. But this is an actual Mardi Gras Indian song that started right here in Tremé, all over the whole world. I'm gonna do it in a form of a call and response. It would be in a circle, calling out. Y'all gonna respond. I'm gonna say, hey now. You're gonna say, hey now.
That's what I was just singing in my head.
I could
My
do
black
it,
boy
now this
and your black boy.
Yep, this is Spy Boy song, and later they changed it. She already knew it. My spy boy and your spy boy was sitting by the fire. My spy boy told your spy boy, I'm gonna set your flag fire. Talking about hey now, hey now. Aiko, ane. Yagamofina, hanane. Yagamofina, 250 years later, they put in a movie called Rain Man. They changed the song. Went like this. My grandma and your grandma was sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set your flag fire. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko, ane. Yagamofina, hanane. Yagamofina, paying honor to the Native Americans who assisted us to escape. That's the Indian tradition that we started paying honor back to them. And that song is that old, 250 years old, just like that tree. How y'all young ladies doing there? All right, all right. Where y'all visiting from?
Spain.
From Spain? Oh, I was just talking about King Carlos. Under the Spanish right here, after King Carlos defeated the French, he allowed Africans who were congregating here to buy their freedom. So under the Spanish rulership, Africans superbly did good. A lot of the music came forward under King Carlos. A lot of people were allowed to purchase their freedom. Under King Carlos, New Orleans, African people really enjoyed themselves under King Carlos. So the Spanish have a big old part of the music history here. Very big part of the music and the culture, right?
Are
Especially
my
in
face
Congress. Thanks to King Carlos. All right, y'all. Now, y'all heard. Now, there's a statue over here of Louis Armstrong, pretty much maybe about 100 yards away. And then this little concrete slack right here is testifying to the fact that Louis Armstrong was a little kid. He was born July the 4th, 1900. 14 years later, 4 blocks away, they got this little kid got caught with a gun. We gun violence way back in the 1940s. We got little Louis, born July the 4th, 1900. He died in New York. Guess what? July the 4th, 1971.
Oh wow. That wasn't long.
1900 died in New York. 1914. I keep trying to sell me some car insurance for a car I ain't got yet.
Was it like you want to upgrade the insurance?
This is little Louis. This is a picture of the little kid, Louis Armstrong right here. This is Mr. Rogers. Now, 14 years later, there's a 14-year-old kid with a 38 revolver. They arrested him. This is Louis. This is sent to Colors Waif's Boys Home. This place still exists. You catch the Franklin bus to go out to Melanie Boys Home. He's sentenced there for 2 years. They didn't know that this little kid is smart. He's a genius. We don't know he's a musical genius. He gets under the tutelage of Mr. Rogers. He teach everybody the cornet first. First you learn the cornet, then you pick whatever instrument you want. He disciplined Louis, teach him how to do the cornet. We find out this little kid is picking up on music. He's learning music notes. This guy's like a genius. So they find out we got a genius here. He's in the boys' home for 2 years, committed there. Now, remember, Louis Armstrong is in New Orleans. New Orleans has the influence German music, Irish music, Italian music, Caribbean music, and African music. Here, this little kid, he knew everybody's music. I could play your notes better than you. I could play all your music. What set this little kid apart from was when he played music, he knew everybody's music, so he just stole your notes. Give me your note, I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna do with this. He blended all the music together. Irish, German, Caribbean, African. And when he played music, he put all the music together in a symphony. So the Irish people heard their music, the Germans heard their music. When he played music, you got 5, 6 different races. Wow, I hear my music. He's off the scale. They didn't know what he was. He just blended everybody's music together. That's what sent him to the stratosphere. Now, Lil Louis isn't the king of jazz. The king of jazz is a statue you can see, a 3-headed statue over there. That's Charles Buddy Bolden. Buddy Bolden is the king of jazz. He was the first one to do the second line and walk through the street and march. He had a mental problem, that's why he got him with 3 heads. There's a movie out called Bolden that talks about his life in New Orleans. A lot of his music was stolen. They don't know what happened to music, but Charles Buddy Bolden is a king. Louis is an impresario. Louis learns how to, he got with this brother named King Oliver, a local musician who started taking him all over the world. Louis became worldwide known because of his music. Started off as a little bad kid who was arrested, went to jail for 2 years, and he set the world on fire. So sometimes a bad situation can happen to you, but it could be turned to good. And that's been the story of our life all the time. Blues music, slaves. You don't have no music. For 20, 30, 40, 50 years earlier, well, 200 years, blues, jazz. We made you. What happened if our ancestors never were oppressed? If you could make blues and jazz under slavery, what you can do free, y'all free. There's no limit. The sky is the limit. Y'all are the first generation that can be the president of the United States. Go to the space. Do anything. You are here. This is your world right now as a young person. These people went through a lot of adversary and adversity and obstacles. You got the world at your fingertip. Everybody done open the door for you. Take advantage of it. But you have your Congo Square, from your blues to your jazz. All these is people under oppression. So what can you do while you're not under oppression? Get Louis Armstrong. He sent to jail. He changed the world with a trumpet, learning music. There's nothing you can't do. Never let nobody tell you what you can or cannot do. Now here in Congo Square, Bambula, Kalinda, Mardi Gras Indian traditions, your jazz. Across the street where y'all get a chance, between this door here, look between that door, across the street is J&M Studio. On the corner, there's a studio over there. It's a laundromat called Hula Mae's Laundromat. Inside the laundromat, that's the place where the rock and roll started in New Orleans. Fat Dominoes, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, 1947, Mr. Cosmo Cap took his family business and he started a laundromat. And in there he took a little part and he had the J&M Studio. J&M Studio, the first artist your grandmother loved. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
On Blueberry Hill. I know you heard this one. The next artist came there after Fat Dominoes. Wop bobble bop bing bang boom tutti frutti. Oh Rudy, Little Richard. Then Jerry Lee Lewis. All of your rock and roll pioneers. The lady who invented rock and roll was an Afro-American lady named Sister Rosetta Tharpe. When the electric guitar first came out, this sister she was a Christian lady. She signs a secular contract. She don't want to sell no secular music. She took a Christian song called This Train and she put it to rock and roll. Chuck Berry saw her at the concert. He stole her style. He got electric guitar and he took the rock and roll style. The one who invented rock and roll wasn't no white people. It was an Afro-American lady named Sister Rosetta Tharpe. A lot of the music go right there in Congo Square. Call and response. You know call and response today. When they're in hip-hop, wave your hands in the air. That's call and response. All that started there in 1740 and it's still circulating today. It's nothing new. Your history repeats itself. From kings you came, back in America you're finna see the descendancy of the kings again. Your lineage is inside of you and your DNA is kings and queens, so y'all great. Now, down the street, Dr. Martin Luther King started the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Then he did the March on Washington. The first civil rights case, Homer Plessy versus Ferguson, was done here. 5-year-old little baby integrated the whole New Orleans system. Ruby Bridges, little bitty baby, integrated the school system here with all the white people spitting at her and stuff. The whole neighborhood, she had to go with the U.S. Marshals. Marcus Garvey was a black leader who had his own shipping company called the Black Star. And he had shipping companies from Africa to America. They didn't like that. They sent him out, they put him out the city, exiled him from America down the street on a walk. The Buffalo Soldiers, whatever you hear about the 9th Cavalry, Buffalo Soldiers, this is the 9th Cavalry where they was stationed at. After the Civil War, you got 85,000 colored troops. What we gonna do with the black folk? The first border patrol in the United States was the 9th Cavalry, the black soldiers. They fought Pancho Villa when he was encroaching on American land. When they started taking the Indians' land, they was the one who fought with the Indians. Indians called them Buffalo Soldiers. These were the guys that opened up the military where white people know that black men don't run in the face of battle. They're gonna fight like brave men, like Mandinka warriors. So that's why the military say, I don't care who prejudice against them, we got their back. We want them on our team. That's who opened the door for African Americans. The Buffalo Soldiers was the one that showed our strength. Tonight y'all want to do Frenchman Street is more young people friendly. Snug Harbor is a good club. Y'all get to see Ellis Marcellus, but all your music is on Frenchman. Bourbon Street, they're gonna be drinking till they're stinking. You can get you a $3 pass, ride the trolleys all day. All the trolleys and the buses you can ride for 24 hours in the air conditioning while you see the city. You're in two cities. You're in the French quarters, where Americans wasn't allowed here until 1809, so they built their own city. There's an old trolley, the oldest operating trolley is called a St. Charles trolley. You can ride that up to Oak Street. All the inventions and all the stuff in building and history is here. We did all that. They just have their other little stuff. Most of the sugar plantation owners had their They're big mansions. But you're in one of the most historic cities for Africa, and we still holding it down. Like I said, next time y'all come here, this will be the Black Disney World. Other folks got to talk to statues. I would have to talk to statues. I'm working on my stilts, my bamboo drums. This is gonna be the only place in New Orleans you'll see Congo drums getting built in Congo Square. So we finna turn it out with the steel peeps, the bambula, the kalinda, the Congo. Next time y'all hear you'll see the Indians dancing around and everything. Like I tell white folks, this is my culture. I don't have to talk to statues. We still do this. You gotta talk to statues because it's not your culture. And they be sitting there all proud. I would kill them when I come through here. Them big stilt man run around here with the Congo drums. Say this is, all them people. Look, you ain't gotta say this is how it was. This is how it is.
Yeah.
Y'all with the greatest culture in the world. The streets is clean. People used to sweep the streets with a brush. There was a gentleman named Charles Brooks. He got to sweep for miles. He took a brush and put it on a truck. He was the first one made the street sweepers. When you get to that red light, you'd have a lot of wrecks. Garrett Morris is a black inventor who invented the traffic light and the gas mask. Whenever you got a cell phone, Henry Sampson is a nuclear engineer who invented the GAM cellular. Every cell phone here comes from a brother, Henry Sampson. You can't have a cell phone without his influence. Your computer at home, Mark Dean was the first person to invent the processor for a computer. Computers come from us. Cell phone come from us. The shoes you're wearing. Jan Metzer is an African who invented the shoe lacing machine. You have to do one shoe at a time. This brother invented a machine that could pull out thousands of shoes, revolutionized it. When you get out the sun and go in that air conditioner and that refrigerator, thank a brother named Frederick McKinley Jones. He invented the air conditioning system and refrigeration. He was the one that put air conditioning on the trucks. I could ship meat all over the world. Your ancestors did everything. We invented everything. Everything. You don't believe me, your people invented everything. We got problems. We need our museums where you can show you all the things you did. When you get to the light at night, the lights are on, the filament and the light bulbs. See the little light bulb, the filament? The reason you got light, Lewis Lattimore, the Afro-American who invented the filament. That's why we got light. I mean, everything. We're influenced with everything. Y'all come from kings. I ain't never said in Africa. The science of mathematics, the science of language, civilization, astrology, all that come from Africa, your African ancestors, which is in your DNA. There's a tribe in Mali called the Dogons. Before they had a telescope to see in the sky, these people got a cave. They got the whole solar system written on the cave. The Europeans came there and said, "Oh, y'all know about this?" They said, "We have an ancestor from Sirius." When you hear Sirius radio, they found that in the coordinates in the caves of the Dogons in Mali. Astrology, we invented everything. You invented everything. Quit looking at that white TV and get your own, make your own TV. But y'all, from kings you came to kings you're gonna return.
Sounds familiar, huh? Start inventing your own.
Yes, you come from a world of inventors. Your mind, you walking around with millions of dollars in your head. Intellectual property is what they call it. All your ancestors are invented. Everything you see, your ancestors pretty much invented. Go to your house and look at things and Google it. You're gonna say, wow, I didn't know we invented that.